Hello and welcome to episode 22. I am your host, Matt Weiner, and as always, I'm joined by my fellow capo, Edward Vento. As of 1:45 p.m. West Coast time, Bishop Sycamore could be hailed as the wildest story from 2021, and week one of football has literally not even started. It's insane. So we're going to talk about that crazy dive in. We can't even touch everything because it's that wild of a story. And then we're going to be talking shop about the following games. We have LSU, UCLA. We're probably going to talk the most about that one. Then we got USC versus San Jose State. And we're going to end with Fresno State, Oregon. Some really good Pac-12, throwing a little Mountain West in there. It's going to be awesome. And we're going to end majority of the show by just going over our cards for this Saturday. Edward has a you need a girlfriend pick and also a fuck it pick. And then me, myself, I'm going to ride. I don't know what it is yet. It's going to be a surprise, but I'm going to ride. And Edward doesn't even know this, but I'm going to ride Edward's you need a girlfriend pick. And then I have a fuck it pick of my own. Before all that, let's do a little mental health check-in. How are we feeling?
Good. Week one is here. I feel like we haven't had football that matters in a long time. I mean, I know we literally had it last week, but now that it's
FCS.
Now that it's a full slate of games, it's like, wow, it's here, man. It's like, and we're not going to have a weekend without football until like the Super Bowl. So it's going to be awesome.
Exactly. This morning, the first tweet I saw on my timeline was from Kirk Herbstreit. And there's no better way to wake up and like the first thing you see on your phone at 6:50 a.m. is Kirk Herbstreit tweeting out, all caps, college football is back, 4 exclamation points. Here we go. We have 16 games tonight, 8 games Friday, full slate Saturday with some heavyweight matchups. Sunday, we have Notre Dame, Florida State. Then even Monday, Labor Day night game with Ole Miss, Louisville. Let's go, all caps, like a bajillion exclamation points. I might just have that as my wallpaper.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's an amazing thing to wake up to in the morning.
Better than coffee. That woke me up more than the glass of coffee, the cup of coffee I was drinking while I was reading that tweet.
Yeah, that was the energy boost you needed.
That's it. If Mike Tyson could have sniffed that tweet, I think he wouldn't even needed cocaine.
Maybe you should just have Kirk Herbstreit wake you up every morning.
Oh, I would love to. I would
just hire him to wake you up every morning.
I would love to wake up to some random clip of him and Corso, or an audio of a clip of him and Corso going at it. Or Mo Kiper.
It might scare you though if Lee Corso's just kind of yelling to wake you up.
Dude, if I wake up every day with not so fast, my friend,
that would be elite.
That's a great way to wake up. It's a great way. Because then I have the beep, 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 like the automatic one. And that feels like I'm Private Pile getting out of bed.
Yeah, that feels like you have to wake up in the morning. But if Lee Corso tells you to wake up, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, it's nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, birds are chirping, flowers are blooming.
Yep.
All right, let's talk Bishop Sycamore. This broke my brain. When I say this broke my brain, I mean it as there are so many things. We're not going to be able to touch on any of them. I didn't even know where to go with this, but it's the talk of the town. And I wanted to just say, as wherever I've gone and there's been people, they've been talking about Bishop Sycamore. Like, that's how big it's been, I think, for me at least. Like, I think this is the craziest thing I've seen ever.
Yeah, I mean, this is unlike anything I've ever seen before. And I mean, when I first heard about it, like I saw a post on Instagram from like Bleacher Report or something, and it said like, oh, high school team tricks ESPN into like playing their game on TV. And I was like, oh, that's funny. I didn't really think anything of it. And then the more I saw it and read about it, I was like, holy shit. Like, This is insane. And I mean, yeah, it's been everywhere. It's hard to avoid at this point.
It is impossible. I think the only way, so we're going to dive into it, but the only way everything can be touched on is if we get a 20-part documentary series, hour episode long.
Yeah, I can't wait for the 30 for 30.
It might be like a 70 for 70.
Yeah, they may need to up it.
There's no way. We're just going to try and do our best. And I'm going to try and get down to brass tacks. but I'm gonna pray that something doesn't take me in a different direction to where you guys don't even know less than I do. It's pretty much all over the place. So my brain is already all over the place with this. I can't stress that enough. So I think we got to break it down to who are the villains? Who are the guys that put this in place? So we can focus our anger at Coach Roy Johnson, and Andre Peterson is the founder, director, and line coach. So those are the main guys to blame. So a guy named Ben Koo on Twitter, so verified, like trustworthy source. Stop me when you want to like go down into something, but he tweeted out that there's a 5-second version of what's going on. So they were formed as Bishop Sycamore, as they're now known. Before, in 2018, they were formed as Christians of Faith, but that program collapsed under fraud and misuse of funds, including fraudulently obtaining loans and failing to pay numerous vendors and landlords. So they folded that name and called themselves Bishop Sycamore. In the 2 to 3 years they've been Bishop Sycamore, they've used multiple fake addresses, multiple fake names, fraudulently attached themselves to actual charitable entities without those entities' knowledge or permission, and then created a fake school name to attach themselves to, before giving that up and going back to just calling themselves Bishop Sycamore and using a fake address. Wow. Should I go on, or do you want to unpack some?
I wanted to say one thing. I wanted to let you cook there for a little bit, but now I wanted to jump in and say, like, what the hell was that? Did you hear that?
I heard some rustling.
I don't know what that was. I'm a little scared. Okay. I heard from an interview on Complex, I don't know if you saw that, that they interviewed a player. They interviewed a player on the team, and he said that the school was using bounced checks to pay for everything, and that they literally scammed a church into funding them, and that like they were told they were going to be on a Netflix show, and that they lived in a hotel for 5 months that they never paid for, or I guess that the school ended up using bounced checks for. So when you said like they were called like it was like COF was the name.
Christians of Faith.
Yeah, so that kind of pieced it all together from when he said they scammed like a church. Now I see, but I think that the fact that they were told they were going to be on a Netflix show is really funny, and that they were using bounced checks to pay for hotels and they scammed a church, I just think is wild, but I'll let you continue.
Yeah. So, all right, I want to piggyback off the church thing. So there's a thread by the handle is urinating tree, and the guy's name is Schlasser, but he has a crazy, like probably 30 tweet thread. It was released on August 30th. And now we could add more things to the thread, but he phrases as, are you ready for the punchline? The African Methodist Episcopalian Church had no such affiliation with the Christians of Faith Academy. The school and its leaders were using them to grift, be it by means of loans or duping schools into paying them. Wow. So there's that. So I wanted to just throw that in, but I want to get back to like being promised the Netflix show. There's part of me that wants to make jokes about how like some of the players graduated in 2015, how some of these guys are like the definition. It's been posted. It's just every joke that I have is just ad nauseum because it's already been said a billion times. Like the I am 12 from bench warmers from Carlos. But so there's like the funny parts, but then it's just the lying like that, just lying to the kids, and especially just taking advantage just for, it looks like the culprits of this are Roy Johnson and Andre Peterson. You're just hanging a fake carrot that kids are going to fall. Like you're like, remember Monsters Inc. where they give Bo the trail of Cheerios leading to the newspaper for a bed? Yeah. There's leading to a trail that's going nowhere. It's just endless and just lies and lies. And Leroy Johnson is like a felon. He's not a good person. I don't know him personally, but when I see like domestic violence and trespassing, usually not associated with the salt of the earth.
No, and I mean, you kind of hit the nail on the head there. Like, we can joke about it all we want, and sure, in the grand scheme of things, looking at it overall, it's funny, but when you really get down to the details, it's quite sad. Like lying to these kids and I don't know if you saw the picture of the food they were eating. It literally looked like slop that you would feed a pig. Like, it just is. It's like, when you really look at it, it's heartbreaking. But it's just, yeah, it kind of, and it's been going on for a long time. From what I remember, from what I've been reading, like, it's been going on for years now.
Mm-hmm. So this is something I'm still not too clear on, but is part of the whole mess is TV rights. And that's the thing, is that this all led up to, how did they get on ESPN? How did they get away with this? So the way that I'm going to butcher it, I'm going to stumble, it's a little clumsy, but the way this happened was that ESPN hires a company called Paragon to do the schedule, to do scheduling of high school games. So I believe there's 20 to 25 high school games a year. And through that, they get to see, all right, we're going to put Bishop Gorman versus Mater Dei, I don't know, October 17th, Friday night. So usually, because you're dealing with such teams of or such high caliber teams, you don't have to worry about this. But what happened is that Paragon used prep gridiron logistics, who's corrupt in their own right, and they have media rights to their own streaming channel, to their own streaming site. And this is where it gets a little murky for me. Pretty much the real people who should be in a lot of trouble are these two companies, Paragon and then Prep Gridiron Logistics, because they didn't do any background research. They went with it, and it's all just to gain revenue to or especially Prep Gridiron Logistics, just gain revenue to their streaming site, which is where the game was going to be played on. So a lot of these high school games are televised, and it's not like for me, I used to do the live stream broadcasting for Arcadia. Nobody got paid. No, like there's real professionals calling the shots and making money off of these streams, because when we see IMG Academy, we're going to watch that game.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I didn't know about that, about how ESPN has that like scheduling thing. And so, yeah, that's crazy. I mean, well, yeah, like you said, there's actually people like getting paid for this. So it's not just like, yeah, like someone broadcasting Arcadia High School versus Mirror. It's like, this is real stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's real guys in charge, just doing anything they can to get money from the stream. That's where what boils down to is, or I shouldn't say that, streaming rights. Streaming rights is one big part of it. The other part of it is the ability, or is scheduling bad teams, because then it adds points to your playoff ranking. And then it builds you up a higher seed in the playoffs, because like Ohio, what they do is it's a point system. So obviously you get more points if you beat a team by a larger margin or by a higher margin. So there's that as well. Is this whole, everything is about one-upping to get yourself more exposure, to get that offer. It's more exposure, more exposure, more exposure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So when people say, what's the end goal of all this? More exposure, so you could get that offer from Nick Saban. That's it.
Yep.
So Everything we're seeing leads up to that.
Yeah.
Wow. So an all-time pivot, Jesus. There's just no way to segue going away from Prep Gridiron, because that is like the clown trick where you keep on pulling handkerchiefs and keep on pulling and pulling and pulling. It's never ending. That's what this feels like. And I feel like I didn't even know if we did a good job explaining it.
No, I think we did fine.
Okay.
I mean, we're not experts, but I think we did.
Mm-hmm. All right. I have to say, besides and we're going to get into the big games. We're going to touch on Clemson, Georgia, obviously biggest game of the week. Everybody's looking forward to it. But for Mountain West Pac-12, UCLA versus LSU is something that I am dying to watch. Dying.
Yeah. I mean, as a UCLA fan, obviously I'm excited for us to kind of be on that big stage right now, where it's like, this is like a prove it game for us. So it's like, as long as we just don't get blown out, I think we'll kind of be in the back of people's minds. So I'm pumped for this one.
For me, this is what makes college football the best, is the difference in competition, because UCLA squared off against Hawaii. If you spent any time watching that game, you would have seen that Hawaii could possibly get blown out by an FCS opponent. If you give them UAB, it might get a little ugly. So and that's what makes it so fun is that like how much stock do we take from the Hawaii game, and then how much stock do we take from LSU game? Because for me, the biggest difference from those teams is the line and discipline. That's it. Because Hawaii compared to LSU's line, oh Jesus, talk about ad nauseum jokes. Everything's just going to be compared from Bishop Sycamore to IMG Academy. But that's kind of what it feels like, is that the competition from that. But yes, because I mean, you saw what Hawaii was. Hawaii was so bad. Hawaii was so bad on the line. Every single time Javon Cordero was just praying to get a ball out. Every throw was because it was rushed. Like every decision was because he had a bajillion guys in his face.
Yeah. And I think going back to what you said on the difference of the quality of opponents is I think is why the first, I don't want to boggle it down to the first quarter, but I think the first half is going to decide this game, because I think UCLA is probably going to come out a little shaky because of that leap that they have to take. They have to go from playing Hawaii to playing a team that's 2 years removed from winning the national championship.
I would hail them as at least me personally, what I've watched, the greatest college football team I've ever seen.
Yeah, like Joe was probably the best individual college football season ever. And so it's like they have to go, and granted, it's not entirely the same roster. There's been a lot of moving around, but for UCLA to have to jump from Hawaii to LSU, I think that LSU could come out firing. And if UCLA can keep it somewhat close in the first quarter, first half, they have a shot, but I could see LSU running away with it early.
So what we get, I think the stat that probably like sums up how bad Hawaii's offensive line was, I'm not even talking about their defensive line. I'm talking straight, obviously went back and forth because UCLA's offensive line destroyed Hawaii's front seven and front four, but Hawaii averaged 1.2 yards per rush. There's no way you're going to be able to repeat that against LSU. And the way the game started was so telling of how the rest of it was going to go. On Hawaii's first possession, I don't even know how this was possible. I've never seen this. The punter kneeled while possessing the ball while he was trying to punt it away. He kneeled with the ball in his hands because it was a low snap, which is what gave UCLA such incredible field position. And it was just, obviously, it was a steamrolling from there. But you're not going to see that from LSU. That will not happen. Coach O will yank a player's head off their shoulders. He will gladly curb stomp you. He will gladly curb stomp a punter if they did that.
Yeah, I mean, that type of mistake you're right, is not going to happen with LSU. It's just not.
So that's what I want to see. That's what I want to see is, can UCLA just hold their own? Because the spread is so dumb. How is it going to be 3.5? I don't understand how it's LSU favored by 3.5 points. I don't understand how it could be that low.
I mean, look, I've done a lot of research on this game, and I understand why it's low. And I'm gonna run through some numbers that I've found. So LSU lost 14 players to the draft last year. They were 5-5 last season. They had some ups where they beat Florida when I think they were 6th ranked in the country. And then they had like a really good shootout against Ole Miss. But Max Johnson, who started their last 5 games and is going to be their starter this year, lost the first 3 games and had a combined QBR of 48 and 131 yards per game. So we're a long way from Joe Burrow with Max Johnson. And their defense was 124th in the country in yards per game, which is 4th to last. And they were 98th in the country in points per game. So they're improved now defensively. They're pretty much bringing back their whole defensive line. They've got all-American cornerbacks. And I expect their defense to be a lot better than it was last year. But this is, like I said, like I'll keep saying, this isn't the LSU of 2 years ago anymore. This isn't the Joe Burrow LSU. So I understand why it's 3.5, but I think it should be at least like 6.5 or 7 if they think it's going to be close. It's going to be, if it's going to be close and UCLA is going to lose, it's going to be by like a touchdown. It's not going to be like a field goal separates the game.
That's what I was about to say, is that a touchdown is going to separate the game, not a field goal, where this is not going to come down to the kicker for either side.
Yeah.
Especially so like just game and for the ending of the game.
Yeah. And I mean, my pick for this, I don't know if you want to give my pick now.
Yeah.
Is LSU. Mine LSU spread. I had it as -3. Has it gone up to -3.5?
Yeah. At least that's what I saw in Bovada.
Okay. So since we're recording now.
Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but
no, you're good.
But yeah, so all spreads over unders are done through Bovada. So obviously it varies, but that's at least our source for this.
Yeah. So 3.5 then is -3.5. I think UCLA will keep it close. I could see it being a score of like, oh God, math. I could see it being like 32-21 or 32-24. Like I could see it being within 2 scores, but I could also see it being more than that. Like I could see it. It's either going to be like 1 possession game, like we said, a touchdown or a touchdown and a field goal, or it's going to be 3 scores. I don't see a real in between.
Yeah, it's going to be really, I'm just so almost like just fascinated to see if like, can my brain trick me once again when it comes to UCLA? So it's just the are you an idiot game for me.
It's going to be fascinating, honestly. Yeah. It's going to be a fascinating game.
Yeah. So then we're going to move on to USC versus San Jose State. San Jose State is coming into town. They're rolling to the Coliseum off of a big win against Southern Utah. Right now, the USC is favored 14.5 points. Over under is 60.5. I'm actually going to be attending that game on Saturday.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So I'm just going to be double fisting aloe vera and sunscreen. It's going to be so bad.
It's going to be brutal.
It's going to be so bad. I'm going to get so sweaty. It's going to be an all-time sweat stain game.
Do you have a jersey prepared?
You know what's so sad is that I don't even have a USC shirt. I don't know how it's possible. I'm going to go out and get one.
You don't have any USC gear?
I don't. It's very strange. Wow. It's weird. I don't have like that much gear of my favorite teams.
Okay. See, I'm completely different. I could open my closet door and I have like a collection of jerseys that I could bring out. But yeah, I mean, wow, that's honestly surprising. I thought you'd have something.
Yeah, no, I'm going to take care of that today. Good. But yeah, so I have a really big dilemma because I really, really like San Jose State and spread, but it's all based off Nick Starkel. And I'm sorry, there's like, and we're going to get to Fresno State, but I fucking love him. I think he's going to be a Mountain West Conference player of the year or offensive player of the year. He's just going to sling it. So I was thinking about even taking San Jose State spread. I was like, you know what? No, stick to the basics. Points. What is USC's strength? Offense. Keaton Slovis, Drake London. I know it's a little bit of a switch up at running back, a little bit different, but this game is going to be all points. I love the over in this. Give me the over. I am praying that this is the beginning of Keaton Slovis's run to Heisman. That's all I will love. Nothing will make me happier than watching Keaton Slovis put up, dare I say, 400. And the San Jose State's offense is good enough to keep on coming back, especially with Nick Starkel with his arm. You could have a touchdown at any position on the field or any yard line on the field.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of just hammered exactly what I had written down. Okay. I love the over. I love the over here too. I mean, I had that over as my pick also. Yeah, I mean, Starkel and Slovis is that's like the marquee matchup of this game. I mean, like looking at the Pac-12 slate, I look for the like, you know, ranked games or like 2 teams that are, you know, really bad because that means a fun game, or 2 teams that are solid. That means, but I also look for player versus player, and Starkel, the storyline of Starkel versus Slovis is probably my favorite player versus player matchup of those 2 conferences of the games this weekend. So I'm expecting this to be just an arms race. No pun intended.
4.5.
Okay. Is that out of 5 or out of 10?
The latter.
Oh, shit. Okay. I'll do better next time.
Yeah, I gotta watch some film. But no, this like even like when you have the back-to-back S's, like the S sound is so nice. Slovis for Starkel. That just sounds hot.
Yeah. Yeah, that rolls off the tongue.
Slovis for Starkel is, I wish, it's too bad that we don't care about nickname or care about newspapers anymore, because Slovis versus Starkel would be the ultimate headline preview.
Oh yeah. Imagine that in the bold LA Times letters. That would be awesome.
Damn. Yeah, that's I mean, it's gonna be so sweet. That's gonna be more that's gonna be the most interesting part of the game. And I keep on mentioning Clemson, Georgia, but that's like, for me, it's like Ukulele and JT Daniels, former USC quarterback, and then a couple notches below, Slovis for Starkel. I can't stop saying it. Slovis for Starkel.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one. I'm expecting a lot of points. Honestly, if the over doesn't hit, I'm going to be really surprised.
Mm-hmm. I would say I'd be more surprised than pissed off.
Yeah, me too. I would be much more surprised than I would be upset about it.
Mm-hmm.
You better be a good luck charm.
I mean, the over hit the last Dodger game. It's like 21-3.
Yeah, the Dodgers hit it by themselves in like the first 2 innings.
Yeah. Super pumped. Cannot wait to get sunburned. I'll have a little day in the life diary that I'll
Good.
I'll update the show with next week.
Good.
All right. And then, so the last game we're going to dive into, and then before giving our cards, is Fresno State, Oregon. Oregon is favored by 20.5. Over under is 64.5.
I hate that spread. I am Fresno State's on. I'm taking Fresno State spread all day. I'm sorry. I hate that spread for Oregon. I think that's egregious. This might be my Hawaii money line moment, but I'm taking Fresno State spread here, especially if Hainer and Rivers play the way they played last week. Why can't they keep it close within 3 scores? They can keep it within 3 scores. You kidding me?
I don't know. I mean, I know Oregon has a new quarterback at the helm. Anthony Brown, previous one, transferred to Texas Tech, but there's something about Autzen where that place is a madhouse, especially haven't had a game there since 2019. People are going to be going absolutely fucking bonkers. There's probably going to be 15 kids passed out off shrooms. It might be an all-time shrooms game for students from in Eugene, Oregon. But I just love Autzen so much. And I would say even more than like Slovis for Starkel, the player that I cannot wait to watch this weekend is Kayvon Thibodeau. He is must-see television. He blows up backfields, all the cliches. He's just like an Aaron Donald type where you have to game plan around him. After seeing like Fresno State, and of course they're going to beat up on UConn, but that's like another test. It's like, okay, you can handle scrubs. But what's going to happen when at least a top 5 pick is going to roll through? Is it going to be too much where he's going to blow up everything? Hainer's going to have no time. All the lanes are going to be closed for Ronnie Rivers.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I'm in over my head, but I don't know. I have a sneaky feeling that Fresno State's going to keep this one close. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Just one of those gut feelings.
Fair. I mean, okay, nothing will be as bad as Hawaii money line. I'm going to remember that for the rest of my life.
That's the benchmark. That's the benchmark for like wild picks is Hawaii money line. That's the benchmark.
In my memories museum, that is probably going to be visited the most, even more than the happier picks. It's just the worst one.
Yeah, that one will linger in your mind the most.
Yeah. All right. And then I just wanted to throw this little tidbit in there about Kayvon Thibodeau, because I am so pumped to see how he's going to blow up Fresno State's line. So this is from Fresno State defensive coordinator William Inge on Kayvon. He said, "I want to coach him." Said it reminds Inge of a player Inge coached, reminds him of a player Inge coach at Buffalo, Khalil Mack. He is the biggest difference. The biggest difference between Khalil Mack and Kayvon Thibodeau is a little bit bigger.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, that is high praise.
Yeah. Huge. All right. And then do you want to ping pong our cards or do you just want to go first?
Do you want, I mean, do you want me to start with my you need a girlfriend and then
Yeah. So I'm going to, no matter what, like I said, I don't even know what it is. We didn't tell each other. Live reveal of the you need a girlfriend.
okay. So and okay, when I was sitting here looking at this game, I was thinking to myself, wow, yeah, I do need a girlfriend. Like this pick is accurate. My you need a girlfriend pick is St. Francis, PA against the spread plus 32.5 versus Eastern Michigan. St. Francis, PA, they might have had all their games canceled last year, but they were 6-6 in 2019, and 3 of their losses were in overtime. And Eastern Michigan was 2-4. So look, I mean, I like St. Francis, PA has played like a very few. I could count on one hand the amount of FBS opponents they've played in their history as a FCS school. But look, dude, 32.5. Give me St. Francis, PA. Come on.
Love it. Love it. We're just rolling. It's just the Catholic only episode.
Yeah. Shout out to Catholics, man.
All right. Then, all right, we're just going to go over our cards and then let's end with our fuck it pick. Okay. I am so excited for this. I fell in love with this team last year. I think they were the most fun team to not only watch, but also just follow along with their story. Coastal Carolina minus 34.5 for Citadel. Feed it to me. It's going to be played in less than 2 hours, actually, tonight. So, well, I mean, it won't be live for you guys when you're listening to this tomorrow morning. So I could either be skipping and singing songs along in the neighborhood or just drowning myself in a puddle of my own tears. But I love Coastal Carolina minus 34.5 for Citadel. Grayson McCall's returned, and I say Likely's back, CJ Brewer is back. It's going to be so much fun to watch.
That's your you need a girlfriend?
No, that's just my pick. I'm riding with your you need a girlfriend.
Oh, cool.
That was
cool.
That was the dealer's choice.
Okay. All right. Do you want me to give my fuck it now?
Let's end with our fuck it.
Okay. Let's see. Are we going to talk about Clemson, Georgia at the end also, or can I kind of, because let's
save that second to last.
Okay. Then I'm going to say Alabama spread. I'm going to say that. Yes, Alabama 18.5. Like, look, this is the stat that made me think that. In first quarters last year, Alabama outscored their opponents 153-44. And then in the second quarter, they outscored their opponents 229-92. So, yeah, this one's going to be over in the first half. So give me Alabama spread all day, every day.
Look, I know new running back is going to be taking all the carries. New quarterback Bryce Young. Shout out him. Spent some time in the Big Biddy in Arcadia. Yeah. But the biggest thing that I'm just going to live by, especially with a blue chip team or blue whatever powerhouse like that, you do not get rich betting against Alabama. You do not. And until they prove me that you don't get rich betting against Alabama, I will stop betting against Alabama. Until then, I will not.
To be fair, also, they're always so heavily favored that you don't really get rich betting on them. So it kind of goes both ways. But yeah, no, never bet against Alabama, honestly.
I know Miami's good. I know De'Ara King, but yeah.
Alabama 18.5. I think that's easy.
And then I have Wisconsin. So it's a lot of my picks are chalk, but I have Wisconsin minus 5.5. So pumped for that being the first game I wake up to in the morning. Love having a good ranked team to get the juices flowing for the rest of the day.
Yeah, that was going to be my next one too. Wisconsin 5.5. But yeah, I mean, how often do we see a kind of a rivalry game like this week one?
Mm-hmm.
Like never.
Yeah, I cannot wait to see Camp Randall going crazy. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, that's gonna be such a fun one.
Mm-hmm. And am I safe to start going into. Oh no, I have one last pick before Clemson in Georgia, and then fuck it.
Okay.
I have Arizona BYU under 54.5. So the under is 4-0 in Arizona's last 4 neutral site games as an underdog. They're going to be playing at Allegiant Stadium, the sexiest stadium, dare I say, in the entire country. It's hot. That stadium fucks. It's a good stadium. Can't wait to see 2 teams playing there. Look, it's just going to be so bad. It's going to be a little bad. It's going to be bad football. It's going to be bad football, but it's going to be fun football if you're only if you're betting the under.
Yeah, there you go. So I guess I kind of messed it up by revealing my picks while we were talking about them, but I kind of just go over it again and then we'll move on. I had over 60.5 in San Jose State and USC, and then and then LSU -3.5. And then that's it.
All right. So am I good to go to Clemson, Georgia, and then fuck it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, Clemson, Georgia. When I say, like, if I had a mortal lock of the week, Clemson, Georgia over 51.5. I'm willing to die on that. Willing to die.
I thought you were going to take a team like a money line, and I was going to be worried that you're going to go the other way.
Okay. I'm not this idiot that I've made myself up to be after the Hawaii. I'm a different person. That's not me. That's another person. Our brains change so much in week to week, day to day, second to second, minute to minute. I'm not that guy.
All right. You have changed. Sorry, I didn't mean you have changed.
I took that personally.
Okay, good. MJ.
Yeah, I just love. You made me lose my train of thought.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'll go with my pick for that game. Look, I'm gonna be that guy, and I'm gonna pick Georgia money line, man. I love Georgia in this spot. And maybe it's because most of the articles I was reading were like Georgia pro Georgia articles, and they were all saying like, this is it for Kirby Smart. Like, if he loses this game, I want him out. And I was like, wow, okay, this is big for them. But then when I actually looked into it, Georgia's actually got a really good run defense, like a really good front seven. And I know Clemson lost ETN, and Georgia's bringing back basically everyone from the D-line and the linebacker core. So can Clemson run the ball? That seems to be a big question mark around that game. Also, JT Daniels is awesome. So it's just another one of those gut feelings. Georgia money line, man. Let's ride, baby. Come on, Kirby Smart.
Well, like what you're saying about Clemson, Georgia's run defense, I don't even care about that because I know DJ's just going to fling it. There's no way this team isn't. Both teams are going to put up 4 touchdowns. I just can't conceive that idea.
No, yeah. That's going to be such a fun game.
Mm-hmm. You just set everything around that, like, perfect slate. What a perfect slate.
Yeah, that's one of those, you plan everything around that game. Mm-hmm. That's one of those types of games.
You save that meal. That's a special game where you save whatever it is that day, whatever's going to lead you to a state of gluttony. That is that game you save it up for.
You save your Italian sandwich ring.
Yeah, the 6-foot sub.
Yeah,
the submarine sub.
Yep.
All right. And then let's end it with our fuck it picks. What do you got?
I've got UMass +38 against Pittsburgh. Look, UMass may have only scored 1 touchdown and 10 offensive points in their 4 games last year, but Pittsburgh's only returning 6 starters on offense and 4 on defense. So fuck it. UMass +38. Let's ride.
Perfect. Look, I'm actually not naming it a mortal lock, but I feel very good about this. Southern Utah +45.5. It's being played tonight. Against Arizona State University. It's being played tonight at 7 p.m. So another game on the Thursday slate where same thing goes for the Coastal Carolina. Might be drowning my own tears, but Southern Utah University, I mean, they went 1-5 during the FCS season in spring, but every loss was by 1 possession. I think they did enough against San Jose State to be like, okay, I could bet them if the difference is 6 touchdowns and a field goal.
Yeah, that's a good pick, actually. I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I'm very excited. And I know obviously Jaden Daniels could be a Heisman next year. Who knows? He's one of the best quarterbacks in the Pac-12, but I think Southern Utah could do just enough. They're just going to squeeze by.
Well, so what are you thinking? What are you thinking it's going to be? How close is the spread going to get?
I don't know, because I think I haven't seen Arizona State. Like I don't know. I really don't think it's going to be like. There's no way it's going to be a 50 burger. I just can't see a 50 burger happening.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's a good one.
Mhm. Yeah. All right. That was an awesome show. We ran really long, but I would also like to say, so we're going to like be switching things up. We're still testing it, making shifts making adjustments as they come along. But it looks like we're going to be moving to recording Tuesday, releasing on Wednesday. We're going to do like an hour show, going to get everything in there, going to be posting clips throughout the week. And then going back to recording Dodgers Sunday night, releasing Monday, recording Dodgers Thursday night, releasing Friday. So looks like we're going to 3 episodes per week. So I'm very excited for what's going on. Super pumped.
Lot of Dodger stuff to talk about. I'm not going to bring it up
Yes.
now, but a lot of Dodger stuff going on.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you'd like to follow myself on social media, you can find me at MattWinder20. If you'd like to follow Edward on his social media, Instagram, Twitter, you can find him at Edward_Vento. But if you have no care in the world to see what we have to say, at least follow OK Takes. Takes 1 second, help us tremendously. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at OK Takes Pod. That is OKAY Takes Pod. OKAY Takes Pod. Takes 1 second. Thank you so much if you end up doing it. And yes, so thank you guys for tuning into the show, and have a wonderful day.